Good morning, ladies. It's an honor to be here, a part of your journey today. I'm sorry I'm not there in person. When Cynthia approached me, I already had some other plans and I tried to figure out a way to make it work, but just couldn't come up with it. So we agreed for some recording. So we're both along for a ride today. Me trying to get this recording and you getting to experience me recording. But here we are at the beginning of a day meant to reignite hope, to remind you of God's crazy love for you. And to do that, Cynthia just asked that I tell you some of my story. So imagine me about 15 years ago on this beautiful spring day. It was a beautiful spring day. The sky was bright and blue, the leaves all fresh green. And I was a single mom to Nathan and Sam, a widowed mom. I don't know what made me sad and frustrated that day. Something had me very heavy of heart. If you've walked the single mom road, you know it can be multiple things. It can be money, it can be just loneliness, just fatigue, tired of doing it yourself. Who knows? I don't remember what exactly had me down that day. But I do remember walking up the steps of my house, plopping on my bed, and opening my Bible. And after I'd read for a little while, a thunderous sound erupted overhead. It shook the house. I jolted upright. I walked to the stairs, down the stairs, to the front stoop, peered out along with several other neighbors going, "What just happened?" Surely someone's house was on fire. Surely the sirens would sound, but nothing appeared out of the normal. You may have figured out by now that a space shuttle rocked the Atlanta skies that day. It was a sonic boom. We don't have sonic booms where I'm from, so it was a pretty unusual event for us. And left us wondering what on earth had happened. I believe we learned about it later on the news. But as I looked back on that moment, I was just greatly mesmerized, for in that moment, I had just read these words: "Return to your fortress, O prisoner of hope. Even now I announce, I will restore twice as much to you." Let me say it again. "Return to your fortress, O prisoner of hope. Even now I announce, I will restore twice as much to you." That verbiage rocked my world back then, just like it does now. Because I was to be a prisoner of hope. You are to be a prisoner of hope. Even when our hearts hurt, even when life doesn't go the way that we want it to. Even as my single parenting days continued with no end in sight. Even today, right now, my son's in an urgent care, a son who shares a genetic disorder that we both have. I am to be a prisoner of hope. I don't know about you, but I need hope. I needed it then and I need it now. But it's hard to keep it alive. Just like it's hard to keep my mousy gray hair a perky blonde. Every day, my graying roots are inching forward, announcing with force that I am a fake blonde. I wrote a book about 4 or 5 years ago and decided that I would not get my hair highlighted again until the book was done. So my gray roots got pretty long. And I was at a family gathering when my youngest nephew said, "Aunt Susan, I didn't know you were a fake blonde. Your hair's the color of my mom's." It was my sister. Fortunately now she's got her little fake blonde highlights, and so we kind of match better now. I'd been called out that day. I don't know how long I'll continue coloring my hair. Money, time, all that. But I do know the fight to know God's love, to live in hope, will not end until I take my last breath. And it won't for you either. Sometimes that seems kind of big. But it's, to me, the greatest battle we engage in this world. Because so many things come back to that question, Lord, why would this be happening if you love me? We question bottom level is there really a God of love if this stuff is happening to me? Let me tell you a little bit more about my story. I grew up in the church. I asked Jesus to take the reins of my life when I was 10 years old. I sang in a choir, obeyed the rules, read my Bible, that kind of stuff. But then it got interesting. Right before I graduated from high school, I attended a church event. I played the piano. My younger brother sang. I did not know that a young artist was sitting on the pew behind me, imagining how cool it would be to be an artist married to a musician. When the thought wouldn't leave his mind, he got my number from his church, wrote me a letter, and asked me to call. The letter said, hey, this is not as much a generic pickup as it may sound. Please call. It's relatively painless. So, I mean, come on. How many? You can't ignore that. The catch? He'd been diagnosed with a brainstem tumor when he was 18. He had an MRI before he proposed, and the tumor was pronounced stable, but that changed a year after we married, when he admitted he was having double vision. MRIs did not confirm growth for another 3 years, so we had both boys, hoping the stable MRIs meant radiation damage was causing the vision problems. But when my oldest, Nathan, was just over 2 and Sam was 7 months old, an MRI finally showed change, and Jason was deemed terminal. And that, my friends, is the very bad news. The good news? We were propelled into a journey that changed everything that we knew about God's love in a way that I still find hard to explain. In time, our home truly became a fortress of hope. 6 weeks after he was re-diagnosed, Jason spent a week as a counselor at our church's yearly summer camp. And after long, long days without him, I attended the last service with a semi-grudge. I wanted him healed. I wanted God to move in some mighty way for him. So when the pastor invited anyone who needed to know more of God's love to come forward, I sat on the back pew and I did not budge until I heard these words resounding in my head as I couldn't ignore them. Is it not enough if I heal you, Susan? I stood, found some friends, and cried and prayed for over an hour. And eventually, I was able to say, I can go on, I can keep going. I walked out of that auditorium filled with a different peace than I'd ever known to ask for. And I felt like I'd met Jesus for the first time. When we drove home the next day, I wrote a song, and it's like my inner critic had been quieted. And over the next 3 weeks, I wrote 13 more songs. Ironically, this song I'm going to play for you right now is one that both of my spouses love the most. So I don't know where you are. Maybe you're where I was back then, and you just need a touch of Jesus.
Lord, send me a touch of you in this darkest hour. My heart feels so unsure, but I know you're the God of power. My sin so clear and never ending keeps me on my knees. Oh Lord, have mercy, your touch is all I need. And Lord, send me a touch of you to share with those around. The hurt runs oh so deep, and yet your love abounds. Pull us closer till we hear what changes we must make. Oh Lord, have mercy, help us our lives forsake. I won't make it without your help. I'm nothing all by myself. I fall down every time I try. of your spirit, bringing riches to the poor. I want to know and love you every moment as the days go by. Oh Lord, have mercy and hear this sinner's cry. Let me know and love you every moment. The days are passing by. Oh Lord, have mercy and hear this sinner cry.
I hope you enjoyed the video. So Jason and I spent 2.5 years praying for his healing. I learned that it was easiest to hold on to faith and hope when I felt loved by the God of heaven. However, new symptoms, financial stress, fear of the unknown, it all took a toll. So I fought back. One day I closed my eyes and I just said, I love you, Lord, and you love me. I love you, Lord, and you love me, over and over and over. And it changed me. I still do it sometimes. I still do it more than you might think makes sense. But by stating those words, I return to my fortress and I tether myself to hope. Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Pause for a moment. Can you imagine in your biggest issue right now, can you think your biggest issue and go, he's overcome this right now? One of the ways we anchored ourselves every day, every morning when Jason was sick, well, it took a few months to get this down. I'm not exactly sure at what point in the illness that we did this, but we memorized Psalm 91 and the whole passage about putting on the full armor of God. Some of you are familiar with it. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save us from the fowler snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover us with his feathers, and under his wings we will find refuge. It goes on. Many of you know that psalm. As we spoke those words were another way that we anchored ourselves to hope. So I don't know what you need. For some of you, it could be as simple as, I love you, Lord, and you love me. I love you, Lord, and you love me. That mattered to me because I had battled so much rejection, just multiple reasons. Maybe it's just even being an artist-sensitive soul. We're prone to that. We don't even mean to, and we feel rejected. But it's there. I'm vulnerable to that. Maybe you are too. So I have to really work to say, nope, I love you, Lord, and you love me. You love me, and I love you. And thus, I can go into the world and love others. But there's something true. Scripture, some of you, find a scripture. Find an anchor scripture. Because as Psalm 91 states, he wants to be that shelter for us. He wants us to know that, yes, things are going to be going on. Bombs are going to happen. Emotional, relational, financial. They're going to happen. But he wants to be that shelter. So find your scripture. Years after Jason died, I got my feelings hurt by some guy. I don't remember exactly what the story was, but I do remember on New Year's Eve, I was sitting in a Cracker Barrel crying. And have any of you cried in a Cracker Barrel on New Year's Eve? I think the boys were with my sister, so I had my trusty journal because that's how I lived. I just had my journal. I would write. And I started this song, and it's still one of my favorites. Again, I'm very grateful for a friend who's been working to help me record some songs, so it makes it easy to just cut and paste them right in here for you, but soak in this. We can hide away with him, and that's what we're hoping you'll do today. Just take some time today to hide away with Jesus.
You say you are my shelter in these troubled times. You say you are a refuge where I can hide underneath the shadow of your mighty wings. You say my heart can rest, my soul can sing, so I will hide away with you, my Lord. I will hide away with you, resting in what I know is true. Your love makes all things new, so I will hide away with you till these moments are memories, till I see how you've brought me through. I will hide away with you. You say that I can let go of all my fears. You say that you'll protect me when trouble's near. Hidden in the secret place of the Most High, you say all is well, everything is alright. So I will hide away with you, my Lord. I will hide away with you, resting in what I know is true. Your love makes all things new, so I will hide away with you till these moments are memories, till I see how you've brought me through. I will hide away with you till the sun sets on my tomorrows, till the rain's forever gone, till I'm free from all worldly sorrow. I have found where I belong. I have found where you keep me from harm. So I will hide away with you, my Lord. I will hide away with you, resting in what I know is true. Your love makes all things new, so I will hide away with you till these moments are memories, till I see how you've brought me through. I will hide away with you till I see how you've brought me through. I will hide away with you.
So we are called to hide away with God through all the trials, through all the different seasons. And there are seasons. I mean, Jason made his entrance into glory on a crisp November day, and a whole new world opened for me. A lot of good days, a lot of hard days, a lot of crazy cool times when I felt close with God, and then times when I just had to remember I'm called to be a prisoner of hope. About the time I met my match and remarried, my legs stopped working. It took years and a lot of medical tests, but my youngest son and I were diagnosed with mitochondrial disease, which means we don't power very well, which is also why him saying this morning, I'm struggling to breathe, It's not, it kind of makes us all a little nervous. Think of it this way. We have less wattage to shine with throughout our day than most of you, or most people our age is probably the better way to compare it. As you age, you have less mitochondrial power. But compared to people my age, I'm running on like a 30 or 40 watt glow, and they've got a 75 watt glow going on, and so they can just do a lot more than I can. When I get low on energy, my muscles grow weak and stress my joints. And so as of December 28th, I just had my 12th surgery in just over a decade. This last one has been really significant. I actually was able to walk on the beach for the first time without walkers or my leg wrapped from ankle, knee, and hip, without worrying, are my legs going to collapse? I had an SI joint fusion on December 28th and can say, wow, it's been so cool to be able to just walk up and down to the beach and have it work. Of course, at the same time, my son gets here, the one who has mito, and he gets really sick. At the same time, my sister was driving down and the engine on her car broke. People around me are suffering. It's going to keep happening. I used to believe when I was a widow at 27 that I've paid my dues. I've done my work. I don't want to have it hard anymore. But guess what? That is not the story of life. So if you've had your moments of strength and then you're like, man, this is too hard, it's okay. I've been there. I've struggled there. And God met me there. But the truth is, when it all got to be too much, I really had to sit back and go, I love you, Lord, and you love me. I love you, Lord, and you love me. And I'm either going to sit here in pain and watch a bunch of NCIS reruns over and over, pulled away from the world, or I'm going to figure out my heart again. I'm going to fight for my heart. That's what today is about. It's just saying, hey, don't let the trouble of this world win. Jesus has called us to so much more. It's been, again, another unusual season of emotional stress for me, and I can't go into all those details, but last fall, a few unusual, unexpected things happened, and unexpected hard things were lobbed my way, but as I had some time away, I was able to write this song, and recently someone just, a friend, Sonny Lawlerstadt, a great guitar guy, was able to make the background track, and I just got it, and I've saved singing it for anyone until it comes for you. Unfortunately, it's not going to be in a studio and nearly as cool as the other two were. But this is my heart for me, my heart for you, because Jesus says, take some time in that space, in that place where we are loved. Cultivate that space in your heart. It has to be intentional. And I know when I'm not intentional about it, the struggles overwhelm me. But when I'm intentional about it, His peace just wins. And again, the fight for it won't end until we take our last breath. So today we're just saying, hey y'all, let's keep on fighting this together. Let's keep on believing together. I hope you enjoy my song.
My mind is whirling like a phoenix kite in a hurricane. Caught between the me I wanna be and the one I remain. This $1 million mess makes me wanna duck and hide away. But you dug real deep and unearthed the words I need to say. 'Cause all I need to say is I love you, Lord, and you love me. Yes, I love you, Lord, and you love me. just gonna take some time and breathe. The soft ocean breeze is blowing as the waves bury my toes. The sun warms every layer of my skin, decompressing my soul. This timeless reassurance that there's something here bigger than me helps me let go and surrender to simplicity. 'Cause all I need to know is I love you, Lord, and you love me. Yes, I love you, Lord, and you love me. Oh, I love you, Lord, and you love me. So I'm just gonna take some time and breathe. I've got to stop explaining who I am and how you move in me. I've got no time for entertaining doubt when you have set me free. Oh, free to live, to laugh, to love, to cry, to be all I can be. In this space my soul sings, I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Oh, I love you, Lord, and you love me. So I'm just gonna take some time. I love you, Lord, and you love me. Yes, I love you, Lord, and you love me. I love you, Lord, and you love me. So I'm just gonna take some time and sing, I love you, Lord, and you love me. Yes, I love you, Lord, and you love me. Oh, I love you, Lord, and you love me. So I'm just gonna take some time